If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. For one, it's free. Two, there are a bunch of creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Not only that, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more places. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's really everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
How's it going, lovebirds? You are now listening to the podcast that brings you real relationship advice from real relationship experiences. I'm your host, Derick Brown Jr., and on today's episode of the Good Relationships Podcast, I'm back here with Veno, and on tonight's episode, we are talking about lessons learned in relationships, specifically our previous relationships. So we most likely won't do any name drops. We might, but
I ain't name dropping him.
But we might, who knows. But we will share some quality lessons, and hopefully you get a lot out of our mistakes and, our experiences. So how you doing today, though?
I'm good. I'm alive, so can't really complain about much.
For real.
Healthy,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we here. We're recording.
Yeah.
So if I'm to throw the general question back at you, what's one thing that you learned from your relationships?
I'll say that sometimes it is me, to step back and, self-evaluate and, take criticism and, that stuff, because you can't be wrong sometimes. So I had to swallow that pill. That was probably the biggest.
I mean, I've been there too, to be honest. I've been in relationships where I think that I'm too perfect.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I've never said that.
Yeah.
I've never said that I'm too perfect. And honestly, I'm not even thinking like that. Mm-hmm. To be honest, I think that I'm so far from perfect. I'm constantly working on myself.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, I'm like, yeah, when it comes to criticism and all that, I can definitely see how I can be wrong. And I used to debate a lot in my my early relationships used to be all debate. And then I'm like, you know what? One, I shouldn't even get so upset because
all this stuff is energy draining.
It's just energy draining. I don't need to be putting my energy towards that.
Right. And it's probably irrelevant anyway.
Super.
Yeah.
High school.
Yeah.
I'm talking about my early relationship. So
right.
You're not even really, you can barely see a future with this person. You just in the moment. You just
going down with the play.
Whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. So I'm thinking, as I get older, it could be my fault. Maybe I'm not right all the time. Maybe I don't got all the answers.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely agree with
you. It's something tough to do because, telling yourself that you didn't do something right, it's something that you probably cared about. It don't sit too well with you, But hey, you gotta live with the, consequences of any decisions or, it's life.
Yeah, no, it is. I would say something for me that I've learned is don't get too excited, even if it seems perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
You might.
It seems like as soon as you get excited,
it's that downhill. Like, dang, everything was perfect. Everything was perfect. You know? So it's like.
No, I think that's because you know, in your head you think it's perfect, but it's really not. You just putting a mask, dressing it up in your mind, and then when it really sees it, it's disappointed because it's not as, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like in reality
because once you lose interest, you lose interest.
You can't really do nothing about that, and that goes both ways,
right?
Like that goes both ways. Like you can
feel it. Well, I know I can.
You should feel it. Most people feel it though, and they don't do anything about it. They just keep going, and until that knock on the door get louder, and it starts to bang, and then they get annoying, so they open the door.
Yeah,
they're like, I gotta go,
Right.
But some people, that's 20, 30 years with the wrong person, and then finally they be like, all right, I don't want to be with you, and then they find their soulmate. It's like, dang, what if you just do the right things early? Like, work on yourself early.
Yeah.
It's like, be patient. And then you find that one. And you find that one and you get to spend ever so long with them, whatever it's meant to be, But at the end of the day, like, as long as you're working on yourself, you can't really go wrong.
Right.
You can't lose.
You're going to be good anyway.
Yeah. You can't lose.
The results from you working on yourself are going to be good.
Very beneficial.
Yeah.
Then you're going to run into people who want to be with you because you're working on yourself. Like, that is like one of the most attractive things. Yeah. Like a person who has,
and that will be attracted to you.
Yeah.
You will attract people of your caliber.
Exactly.
So if you level up,
exactly.
You will attract people who are on that new level.
Yeah, and that's what you want. Like, you don't want the people who are extremely, I'm not going to say there's a below or above, because there isn't, but it's just like what you like, what you don't like. So, why settle for the kind of people you don't like when you can actually level yourself up and become somebody who can get whatever they like when they when they want it, So, if you want to be with successful entrepreneurs, become a successful entrepreneur, or know where the successful entrepreneurs are. And then, of course, when you're going to conferences, when you're going on business trips, and you're doing these things, you're going to run into other people who are successful entrepreneurs.
Right. You're going to be in that pool of people.
Yeah. It's so natural.
Yeah.
Think about it even this way. When you become somebody who you are making you're working your own business, or you're working for yourself.
Right.
You're usually at home, right?
Yeah.
So that means during the day, during the actual earlier times of the day, what are most people doing?
At work?
At work.
Yeah.
So when everybody else is at work, you're going to be running into people who are doing different things.
Exactly.
So they either don't got a job.
Right.
But if you go into coffee shops, you're going to see the same people on laptops. Yeah. So naturally you're going to run into other people who got things in common.
Yeah.
So
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Just how to, yep.
You don't have a choice.
Right.
Because your sleep schedule is going to be differently.
Mm-hmm.
Like how me and you are up right now at 3, I don't even know what time it is. 2 o'clock, 2:40. Because we're on the same wavelength, but we're on a different wavelength than other people.
Now, if everybody who's up at this time, went in the same room, we would have a lot in common. You feel me? I feel.
Oh yeah,
because people who stay up, I feel like we do more productive stuff at nighttime because that's usually when you have alone time. So
yeah, because the day feels a lot longer,
right? Because you're usually dealing with other people, man.
Mm-hmm. Nobody's calling your phone.
Yeah.
Nobody expects you to be up
exactly.
so you can work in peace.
Exactly. Other people are. You know where they're at. And,
Mm-hmm. You know exactly where they are. Yeah. So it's like,
carefree. Mm-hmm.
You can just work.
And it's peaceful. And, that's when I'm at my most productive.
I mean, you decided to work on yourself.
Yeah.
I decided to work on myself. And just because we decided to do that, that's why a lot of these things are panning out for us. And, it's starting to get a lot easier now. I'm starting to realize that myself. It's like, when we sit here and talk about relationships, I'm like, people like us really shouldn't worry about who,
Yeah. We over here stressing. Yeah, I know. I see what you're saying. We over here stressing about this, and we're going to be good anyway because we actually took the time to put thought into it and energy. And when there are other people was like, oh, I don't care. And
like we already on the right track.
Right. And we're still, trying to chase perfection.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully, as we are becoming the better version of ourselves, somebody sees that, the right woman sees that.
Right, and understands the path. And
sees the potential.
Right, all of that. Also, willing to accept, flaws, too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I want to be perfect, but that ain't how, it work.
Do you feel like in your past relationships, there's been people who didn't fully accept you for your flaws?
Probably, yeah. But I feel like those people just naturally fell off,
Mm-hmm.
Like bad vibes,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. Just really ain't just those people. They just fade away,
Don't you think it's kind of weird how you got, those people who you used to hang out with all the time, these kind of relationships where these are your boys, your homies, you used to play video games with them all the day, you used to play football, you used to do all that shit.
Yeah.
And now you don't even really talk to certain people no more, bro. But y'all used to be super close.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange. I thinking about that.
Yeah. We fresh out of it though, you feel me? So
yeah.
So that shit crazy though.
Yeah.
But that's life though, and it we still gonna have the same relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's gonna be that on my side.
Yeah. No matter what. Cause
just won't see you as much because you got other stuff going on.
And that doesn't mean that anybody has to be the person that forgets about their day ones whenever it comes to them coming up in life. But it's just you don't have to be completely invested into what they got going on because you just don't. You gotta live your life.
Shit.
Yeah.
Got your own
agenda,
own goals, and to work toward.
Yeah. But I tell you what, I learned not to definitely judge a book by its cover, man. There's a lot of it's a lot of lot of I don't know, there's a lot of actors.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
A lot of,
Mm-hmm. You talking about them ugly personality?
Woo! Hidden in disguise at first,
Them
Yeah.
Them slimy, slithery, dude.
Them skin shedding,
blood sucking, no disrespect to
to nobody, just, people, what they call them, wolves in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just...
Yeah, man, those are the... Because that's when you really like...
You caught off.
You like, come on. Because you... Yeah, you can't let your eyes,
You gotta stay focused.
You gotta process, think it all through from the top to the bottom, back up 3 more times.
You gotta really stay on your toes,
Yeah.
Keep your binoculars out and really trust your feelings,
Right.
Like if you feel like somebody ain't showing their true colors, there's ways to find out, Just really ask questions. Start asking the right questions. Start asking the tough questions. Start asking the questions that you don't want to ask. If somebody gonna be there for you, if they gonna rock with you, like start asking honest questions you want to know the answer to.
Yeah.
If they the kind of people that don't want to answer these questions, if they don't want to entertain your answers, then they definitely don't want to be in your life,
Right. Couldn't even answer a question, like, and I'm supposed to actually put time, energy, trust, and
everything.
Yeah, just that at the least.
Forever.
Just that at the least. Yeah, talking about forever. Forever. What is that?
That's eternity.
Shoot, I've been only here like 15.
That's what I'm saying. That's a long time.
Like,
That's
how can you really say forever? Like, you don't even know.
Just think when you really feel like that about somebody. Like I said, I don't know because I'm still single. So it's like, but I've been in those places where I feel like I've been close to that feeling, or it's like, well, if this would have been the one, if that would have worked out at that moment, I probably would say that was my feeling of that this is eternity for me, like this is the one, but it didn't work out,
right?
So that's probably as close as I can get to saying I had that feeling where you really like in tune with somebody. You like, all right, I really look forward to seeing this, this girl.
Yeah.
For me, it's like for any lovebirds listening, this person, it's like I'm really looking forward to seeing this person every day, like spending this time with them, doing the silliest shit. Oh, we not doing anything but taking a walk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't just take walks with everybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you take walks with people you really,
Them be the ones who don't like to go.
Yeah, they don't like to go on walks.
You be like, huh? Take
That's
a couple,
how you
take a couple points down. If you don't like to go on walks, then
the go on a walk, bro.
That walk at the nighttime.
That always
look up at the stars a little
always
bit.
Deal silly.
Yeah.
Deal silly.
Moon. Better not be a good moon out. Full moon or
slightly chilly day. Not too cold. So people ain't sweating.
Yeah.
You cruising through the night. Small talk the whole way.
Good music.
Good music. Good music. You know, it's something to enjoy, you know. It's a process.
But yeah, like, I used to say that, like, forever stuff. I was, like, younger and stuff. But after, like, a few times, I stopped saying it because it's just, you know, irrelevant. Like,
Yeah,
I hate repeating, you know, like, I'm not going to keep saying forever.
Right.
These forevers overlapping, like,
yeah, you can't. It don't make sense because you start to distrust yourself.
Exactly.
In a way.
Yeah.
Like,
so I just start saying like every day, like I can see myself with this person like every day.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. You know, because your brain caught wind of that. It's like, well, whenever you say this and it doesn't happen, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
So let's not say that.
Right.
You know, that's intelligence. Like the ability to take those thoughts and learn and then change your personality, change your habits because of that.
Yeah.
That's how you evolve.
Right.
Like, I mean, not everybody does that.
And see, I don't even be thinking about that sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It just do it wrong, man.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, you know, some people would...
I listen to it.
Yeah. You gotta trust. Like, I mean, it's that mind-heart connection.
And you can't let emotions and stuff try to, like, block you from stuff. Because I feel like people do that a lot. Even in relationships, like, you get scared, hold back, or, you know, just fall out, or you can always let that person know, shoot, I'm sure they'll understand.
Yeah.
If they care about you too, you know. If not, then shoot, you were doing yourself a favor anyway.
See, like, and that's the thing. It's like people that they don't see the doing yourself a favor thing as a positive.
Right.
You know, they see it as, well, I still didn't win. It's like, well, but you gotta understand, you did win.
Yeah.
You just don't know it yet.
Right.
Like, you really don't need that person in your life. You know, there's a reason why they're not there. Like, but it, you know, you can't just say that and accept it. It's tough to accept if you don't have that faith or belief in yourself.
That for something that's you can't even see, and it's not even. I can see why people like.
Yeah, they don't see it.
Right.
They thinking in the now, like, well, we're broken up, or
let's just work it out.
Yeah.
Like, you know, get stuck in one of them.
I can't see myself with anybody else.
Like, there's how many people on the planet, and you can't see yourself with anybody else?
I can't
like,
see it.
not one person.
But I get it, you know.
That's the stuff that's like, I feel like it inflates the relationship, like saying stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, it really makes, I mean, the right person will take that and let it go straight to their ego.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and that's the problem. Like
gas them up all the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they feel the way to, like, like they can just take advantage of that person now. Because once you saying things like that, you just basically asking a person to just walk all over you. Like, if they don't feel the same way, they're about to use you. You know, if a person's like, I'll do anything for you, I love you, yeah. Then that other person, if they catch wind of that and they're like, well, I don't really feel the way deep inside, but I know you feel that way.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want. You know?
Man.
You know? And that person would break their back for them.
For sure. You know, it really be like that, though, because, you know, like, people go through stuff, and you care about something, you want it to be cool, you know? You care about it, you care about it, shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just halfway care about it, or do you really care about it? I mean, you ain't got to break your back for somebody.
Now, I don't think I think I've done some silly things for relationships.
Yeah, of course,
you know
of course.
But I ain't never, there's just some things I've heard people doing, and they like, it makes me think like, dang, maybe I didn't care enough. When you hear like people driving like 5 hours or flying to see their significant other, like every week, stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
Or,
like, I want that shoe. I want that feeling. I ain't never had that.
Like, I ain't never had that. Like, I've never been there.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm doing stuff
think
like
about
that,
it. Like, think about it, man. If it drive you, if
quality,
it gets you to get in that car and start it up and drive that far
X
away,
amount, and you not talking to nobody else,
and you don't care, and you go and you don't complain.
You happily drive that with gifts.
And you planning on the way there. It's
you looking forward to it. That ain't nothing's gonna stop you from doing that. Like, that's a different kind of feeling. But yeah, now I do feel sorry for people who don't catch on to that, and they're just stuck in situations where they really do care about somebody, and the other person's just like,
yeah.
But also, that's how you learn.
Yeah. Also, another thing, a big thing I learned is you really gotta, before you try to get in a relationship with someone, I think you should first meet them as just a normal person.
Like a friend,
just a normal person. Just as somebody outside of, relationship-wise. Because when you, think of relationship, it instantly, it all auto sets and
you already got your relationship rules.
Yep.
Going.
From the time you see the person and think about, I could be in a relationship with them, you have everything listed out, whether you like it or not, So I think you should, meet that person outside of, even as a friend, hey, can we be friends?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, let's be friends. And then, when it comes to anything else, if it's meant to be, it'll be meant to be.
Right.
If we feel that.
You will naturally, learn more about each other as friends. And if you don't have much in common, you still might be friends, but you just won't hang out as much, But if you do have a lot in common, maybe you can pursue, but it's a lot that goes into it, So I feel like it's a whole, process, but it's natural at the same time, so.
It just makes sense, so.
Yeah.
Like, if you treat everybody the same, if you treat everybody like friends, then you're going to be your normal self. You're going to be comfortable.
Uh-huh.
And then once you're there, you're at these events or you're at whatever, and then you're talking with the same people, and then it might just hit you, It'd be like, yeah, I got feelings for this person, you know what I'm saying? And that person at the other across the room, they've been feeling that way, but you just now catching wind of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they connect, and then it's natural. But in reality, it was because they took the time to be friends and just get to know them as just people, it's they had an opportunity to be their most comfortable self. And because of that, they found somebody who likes them for who they are.
Yeah. Get you. But yeah. Because, the ones that start off as, usually as friends and, stuff just, naturally gravitated toward each other, those usually last the longer.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe,
yeah.
Forever or every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Maybe every day for a period of time.
Right, And then you get a friend, You can always go back to that friendship stage.
Right. I was just about to say that, even after the fact, I'm sure you can still go to that person as a friend. Well, that's how it should be,
Well, thank you, lovebirds, for listening. And as always, stay blessed, not stressed. Thanks again, Veno.
Yes, sir.